Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling a really wild story in tech. We're talking about Elon Musk and his, frankly, impossible-seeming comeback in the huge race for AI dominance.
All right, let's just jump right in, because this is a real head-scratcher. I mean, for a while there, everyone had pretty much written Musk off. They thought he was totally out of the AI game, the very game he helped kickstart, and then, bam! Early 2025 hits, and his company, xAI, drops an absolute bombshell that just sends shockwaves through the entire industry.
And I mean, it came out of literally nowhere. xAI's new model, Grok 3, suddenly starts shooting up the leaderboards, just dominating them. And we're not talking about some small incremental improvement here. No. This thing was outperforming the biggest, most powerful, most heavily funded models out there. We're talking models from giants like OpenAI and Google, and on some really critical benchmarks too.
So you've got to understand, this was not just another chatbot. Grok was the real deal, a legitimate contender. It was way faster than its rivals, and, well, as we're going to get into, it was completely unfiltered. It was just this move that came out of total left field, and it left the entire tech world asking one simple, massive question. How in the world did he do it?
Okay, so to really get what Musk did, you first have to understand the battlefield he was stepping onto, and believe me, this was not a fair fight. It was an absolute war of the titans.
The AI landscape was already a brutal war zone, completely dominated by a fierce battle between two trillion-dollar behemoths, Google and Microsoft. You remember, right? After ChatGPT just exploded onto the scene in 2022, both of them went all in. They started weaving AI into literally everything they owned. Search engines, operating systems, you name it.
And they weren't just talking a big game. They were backing it up with insane amounts of cash. We're talking a planned spend of a staggering $70 billion, with a B, just on AI R&D. That is a war chest that Elon Musk, for all his wealth, just could not hope to match, dollar for dollar.
So you've got these impossible odds, right? So what does Musk do? Well, he does what he always seems to do. He didn't even try to outspend them. Instead, he chose to outsmart them, and he did it with this lean but incredibly effective three-part playbook.
All right, so let's break this playbook down. The core idea wasn't some crazy, out-there plan to reinvent the wheel. Not at all. It was much smarter. It was more like building a better, faster car, but using proven, high-performance parts that he knew already worked.
So, strategy number one. It's just brilliantly simple, really. Let your rivals burn through billions of dollars on all the risky, expensive experiments to figure out what actually works. And then you just swoop in, cherry-pick the very best ideas, and integrate them fast. So, for instance, when xAI saw how well OpenAI's reasoning models were doing, or how powerful Gemini's deep research capabilities were, they just built those features right into Grok. No wasted time, no wasted money. Just results.
Now, Musk knew that if you're going to build a truly world-class AI model, you have to solve the two fundamental problems that every, and I mean every, AI company on the planet is struggling with. It all boils down to two things: data and compute.
And this right here, this is where you see the masterstroke. To solve the giant data problem, he played an ace he had up his sleeve that nobody else had. X, the platform we all used to call Twitter. Think about it, it's a constant, real-time fire hose of global news, conversation, and raw human opinion. An incredible data source. And for the compute problem, well, he just went and built Colossus, one of the biggest AI supercomputers on the entire planet. Problem solved.
Okay, so he's got his data foundation locked down, he's got his compute power secured. What's the third and final move? He went on a hiring spree. He aggressively poached the best and brightest minds in the field, pulling them directly from his biggest rivals. We're talking top researchers and engineers from Google, from DeepMind, and yep, even from his own old company, OpenAI.
But look, building a killer product is only half the battle, right? If you build it and nobody comes, what's the point? It doesn't matter how good it is. And this is where the whole playbook evolves into a truly genius plan for distribution.
I mean, just take a look at this. You've got this AI model, Claude, from a company called Anthropic, and it's incredibly powerful, especially for things like coding and complex reasoning. But its app downloads, they're just a tiny, tiny fraction of ChatGPT's. And what does that prove? It proves one critical point. In the AI wars, distribution is absolutely king.
So here's the problem for Musk.
He doesn't have Microsoft's Windows or Google search engine to just instantly push his product out to hundreds of millions of users. So what does he do? He uses the unique assets that he has, his massive social media platform, and, well, his natural flair for the dramatic.
And this, my friends, is where things get really wild. Musk's big move was to make Grok completely unfiltered. It would give you political opinions, it could use abusive language, it was designed to generate controversy. And just like this quote shows, the media, the users, they couldn't help but talk about it. Every single outrageous screenshot that got shared on X became free, viral marketing, creating this absolute storm of drama that basically made Grok famous overnight.
Okay, so let's step back. What can we actually learn from this whirlwind of strategy and pure chaos? What's the real takeaway here for anyone out there trying to build something new, especially in a super crowded space?
You know, when you really boil it all down, it comes down to two powerful, super practical lessons. First, copy what works. It's like a restaurant seeing its competitor's best-selling dish and adding it to their own menu. It just reduces your risk. And second, solve your core dependencies first. Figure out what your biggest bottlenecks are, the things you absolutely cannot succeed without, and tackle those head-on before you even think about doing anything else.
And that leaves us with one final and kind of provocative thought. You know, in a market that was just saturated with these polite, carefully censored, corporate-safe AIs, Musk proved something. He proved that sometimes breaking all the rules and stirring up controversy, well, it isn't just a marketing tactic. In a crowded world, it might be the only way to get noticed. So does that mean the most powerful idea is also the most controversial one? That's something to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.